Man, today, man, let's talk about being your authentic self.
Ooh.
Let's talk about it. When the last time you told somebody keep their head up cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate hate around it. Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most. Wanna be more than do more than most.
This episode is brought to you by Lucilla's Cleaning Service, where your cleanliness is our business. Now, this company specializes in commercial and residential cleaning. So if you want a free quote, be sure to reach out to their website at www.lucillascleaningservice.com.
We don't play about it. Nope.
Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most.
Wanna be more than do more than most.
I ain't got time for drama. I ain't got no time for the beef. I only got time for the fam. I only got time for the mission. I barely got time for me.
Let's go.
Chill like a young nigga sneeze. You know I'm get blessed by the things. Collecting the bag.
My boy be going in, man.
Ask my partner which one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, people, man? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast. Your boy Tone in the building, and
Henry Allen Harton the third.
don't forget the
3.
I forgot to do our little whatchamacallit. Be More to Do More, where we help you become the person you need to become
Yeah.
to do the things you need to do or called to do. I'm still practicing, bro. I know I said I was still practicing last episode, man. But what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah, this is new.
Different.
You guys might not be seeing us right now, but you sure can hear us, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we still in the building, man. What you got, brother? What you got?
Man, today, man, let's talk about being your authentic self.
Ooh.
Let's talk about being your authentic self.
Let's do it.
So, all right, story time.
Let's go.
Start off with story time.
Let's go.
So, me and my wife, put me on some of these shows, right?
Right.
Love is Blind, season 4. Man, so and I don't want to tell the story on what happened or whatever, but
Right.
this is what it made me realize though, is you kind of have to know what you want to do and where you want to go, and just kind of the whole purpose theme, right? And just
Right,
kind of the whole thing,
right.
but also you got to be authentically you.
That's true.
Because when you're not, when things get real, it's gonna show. And
Yeah.
And there's a there's a story. Love is Blind. It's this show where people date before seeing them,
Right,
and
right.
they fall in love based on who the person is or portraying themselves to be,
Right.
instead of how they look.
Okay.
So, with that being the case, right? There's it's a reality show,
Yeah.
and with reality shows, you got a lot of people that come on these reality shows that I would just want to say
Having other ulterior motives.
ulterior motives. That's it. That's it.
Other intentions.
You know, and sometimes you can't tell, right? Sometimes
right.
And I don't want to say, I'm gonna use him as an example, right? And I don't think that was the intention of his story, but it kind of looks that way. So you got,
Right.
you got, at least the first person that pops in my mind is, I think they call him is it Mike Bliss? Mike
Bless.
Bliss or something like that. Maybe maybe somebody else. But anyways, dude named Mike. He's on Country Wayne skits.
Oh, Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
So,
Oh man, that's crazy.
and I'm not saying he was on. Was it Ready to Love?
Ready to Love
With nephew Tommy?
The first.
Was it first season?
I think it was first season. Yeah.
But I'm not saying that he used that to get famous, right? But there are people that do that,
Right.
and I'm not saying this person that I'm talking about,
Right.
on this, this story time, but it used that, but it kind of came out that way. It's like, I'm just gonna do this just because it's fun. I'm, whatever. And end up getting a match with somebody, and
Right.
like now you trying to figure it out, but you know, and long story short, she ended up getting exposed. Like, I don't know if I want to be with them. I don't know if I want to be with anybody. I don't know if I want to get married. Like I just.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like, dang, like why do you even come on the show?
Right.
If that's what, you know.
She said she was crazy.
You know, she did say that.
I saw that part.
She did say that. She did. But it's like, you know, and I think, you know, as leaders, we have to make sure whatever we do, we're doing it being our authentic self, because you will get exposed.
Right.
Trying to be somebody that you're not.
Right.
Like I just, you know, we just did this. I don't know. It's another type of personality test, right? And one of the things that the personality test talks about is they call it woo, like woo, right? And
you know, I like these personality tests.
they legit.
About, man.
They legit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, they legit. Yeah. Like I learned a lot about myself.
You got to send me that one too.
Yeah, it's long though. It's like 177 questions.
Yeah,
it's worth it though. It's worth it because
I'm gonna have to do one Sunday and just do that. Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. But anyway, if you lead in a way that's not authentic to you, people can see through that, man.
Right.
Like they can see through it, and then you're gonna end up having a reverse effect that you want to have, you know, because it's just not authentically you.
Right. That's where I got. It reminds me of that quote when we had Big Mike come up here, Michael Warner.
Yeah.
I think his quote was
Big Mike the poet.
Yeah, the
Shout
Mike,
out to him.
number one poet. He said, what was the quote? I became the person I was until I stopped being the person I wasn't.
Maybe.
To some degree.
Something like that. Yeah. It was definitely something like that for
right.
sure.
So it's crazy because that actually lines up with the book that I've been reading about. It's called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And he's talking about like the ego state and talking about being, you know. And one of the things he talked about is about like how ego makes up these different things, you know, like, okay, as far as like making up an identity, you know what I mean? Like I want to be something or portray myself as something that I'm truly not, you know what I mean? And I think that life will cause conflicts that would eventually expose that ego, you know what I mean? And either we get mad about it and close ourselves off, or we learn from it and just soften up a little bit and just become, you know, who we truly are.
So question for you. Is there a balance? Like, is there a balance of like, again, becoming who you need to be? And because for example, right, let's say that you got somebody, like a relationship that you have, I don't know, let's say a cousin. Right. And you got a cousin that, you know, when you see them, like you're going to have to like dap them up every time you see them. Like you got to physically go over there, show them some love physically.
Are they going to feel away?
Or they're going to feel away. But let's say either you don't feel like it or let's say, let's say that they, you know, they dirty.
Right.
And you got, you know, your fresh, you know, outfit on.
Right.
And they just got done working in the yard.
Right.
Like, do you make that adjustment to fit that person, or how do you handle that?
I mean, first of all, why should you? No, seriously though, why should we?
Because you care about them, right? You know?
Yeah, they care about you too though.
Ooh, okay.
You know, like that. I think that's where boundaries come into play. Like, and I see that was my problem though. That it still is kind of like I would kind of form myself in a way that would make people comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, or show people that, you know, I care. But at the end of the day, I am a person too, you know, with standards and with boundaries. So if you're not interested in getting to know me and learning what I care about, then why should I have to form or conform myself into what you think I should be?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe it goes both ways. Like, nah, I don't feel like doing it today. Like to this day, man, like it's too much energy to do that too, bro. Nah, for real. The heavy, you notice that? Like it's a lot of energy to put on.
Yeah.
Like I'm 36, man, and you know, a new father at 36. My energy is being dispensed that way.
Yeah.
So like it's really tough, man. It's tough. I think the older I get, it's tougher. You know, it's tougher. Is that a word?
Tougher?
Yeah,
I think so. It's gonna be a word today.
it's tougher to just put on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
No, I like it. I just.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know, man. Like I'm still I'm torn. There's a real reason why I'm torn, right? Because I don't know if it's like me being a people pleaser, but like maybe they're not at the point in their life where they can make that adjustment and be mature enough about making that adjustment, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe I put it on myself to conform to them until they can get to the point where they don't need that or they don't take it as disrespect.
What if they don't? Because you made it comfortable for them.
Dang, yeah.
It should always be this way, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh, lyric of the day.
oh, we got one.
Lyric of the day.
Bars.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Right?
Let's go.
Finesse,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Because like maybe, and I think you make a good point because you can baby somebody
Right. Yeah.
into it until like, you know, I guess you got to, I think somebody said one day, you got to treat people not treat people. You have to teach people how to treat you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's mostly talking about relationships and like teach people how to love you or whatever.
Right.
But that's might be a good example because the more you conform, the more you know, and then it becomes a problem when you don't, you know,
Right.
show them that love, but somebody else did it and they ain't trip on it.
Right. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, man, it's weird, man, because as easy as it is to say this, it is a tough practice.
Yeah.
And like I say, it takes more energy to pretend than it just to be myself. But then I still have to deal with the backlash of me just being myself because now, you think you all that? Whoa. Now I got to get back to my old self and conform. No.
Right.
That's not what I meant.
Right.
No, I just don't. Now I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Versus, just being cool with, that's just not what I'm into, or it's not me,
Yeah.
And I think that people just are used to an idea of who you are. They just, they like that idea and they want you to continue to be that. Why do you think so many people go in on celebrities and stuff like that when they make a mistake or, when they break code or whatever, or break, what do you call that? They break habit or whatever.
Character?
Yeah,
Break
character. Yeah, I guess.
Wait, no, that's like
Character. Well, yeah, just say And basically, when they break character, right? Like people start looking at them sideways, like yeah, bro, he a human.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's real. So question, right? Mm-hmm. So it made me think too about, all right, being your authentic self, right? Mm-hmm. And the balancing the idea of changing or adjusting or whatever. What about growth? What does that look like for growth? Because the reason why I asked that is because, we were talking on the way here, right? And we were talking about, I was like, man, you know what? I was like, I feel like me being cheap is affecting my ability to become super wealthy.
Right.
But that's just who I am. I just always been money conscious, or that's what they call it. My wife might call it cheap. She might call it that, but that's what I call it frugal. Right. I'm aware of how much I spend, so I never be in a position where I don't have.
Makes sense.
But maybe that's a negative trait.
I got my own money issues. So, you want to talk about it? Be more to do more, turn into a financial.
Right.
You know?
It's going to call Rashad and what's that?
Earn Your Leisure. Let's go ahead and call. Hey man, we need some help over here. Be more to do more, man. Nah, I get it, bro. So the question is about growth. Growth.
It's like, where do you draw the line on, okay, I just need to grow in this area versus, nah, this ain't me?
Well, I guess the solid foundation or what is the evidence? Like, what results are you looking for? So it just goes back to like goal setting. Are you looking for this result? Then there may be some areas that I might have to adjust, or, you know what I mean? Just be uncomfortable in changing, you know? I think like being who you are and evolving is, I think it's a difference between change and evolving first and foremost. I can't change who I am, but I can evolve.
Okay.
I mean, I can only get better, you know? I can't change into Henry, but I can get better as Anthony. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's no way possible I can be like you. Right. You know, because God created you like you. And there's no Henry. There's a Henry Harden the first, second, and you're the third and the fourth, but there's no third but you. So I can evolve and grow from, okay, so like I know that I'm frugal. How is this helping me and how is this hurting me? What results? You know what I mean? Do I need to, it's not a linear thing. I don't think it's a linear thing. Do I need to be frugal in this area? Because there's a possibility where my ROI may be, you know, healthy. You know what I mean? So like, should I just spend money here, or do I need to just, you know, lean back? My problem is that I want to invest in everything. I'm just not an opportunist, but what they call that? Optimistic. Yeah. And when it comes to investing, well,
he's a serial investor.
Yeah. The risk can be like so bad. Right. You know what I mean? And in my head, I'm like, no, but I can make this work. Right. Because all we got to do, you know what I mean?
So whole plan, and that's a C in you right there.
Yeah,
just conscientious, just like, all right, if we do this, this, and this, it'll work out.
Yeah.
So it dang on well it won't.
Right. I think that's why we work out. So like, yo, we can invest in this because it can work. You know, there's risk. If you know, if we lose, we might be homeless. But it can work. But it might work.
But we got it. Just go ahead and do it. Just do it. It's a good plan.
Right.
No, that's real though. That's real. It's a difference between evolving and changing.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. So I think like now it's like, how do we manage that? You know, how do I manage my frugality or my need to invest? How do I manage that? When do I apply self-discipline and when do I just let go? And my opinion, you know, my opinion don't cost much. Yeah. But there you go.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So let's look at leaders, right? Leadership and kind of growing, because we talked about personally, right?
Right.
What does that look like for a leader that, you know, let's say that this leader just took on this team. They just got at this position, just took on this team, and they have a very different approach than this team is used to. How do they continue to be their authentic self, at the same time grow this team to where they're a successful team, but they're different?
I think that's the beauty of it all, man. Oh, in Six Sigma, we got something that's called.
Hold on, what's Six Sigma?
Six Sigma is a process.
Sigma?
Like Sigma, like the Sigma, like the Sigmas
like stumping on the beat. Yeah, like a Sigma.
Yeah, six is the number 6, and Sigma.
Okay,
so it's a process improvement theory. You know, it is what aviation companies use for airplanes and the system on how to move crowds through the airport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, in Six Sigma, we learned that when you're forming a team, I think they call it group theory or something like that.
Okay.
You have forming, storming, norming, and performing.
What? Storming?
No, forming.
Forming.
You forming your group.
Okay.
You form the group. You get a bunch of different people together.
Okay.
Then storming. Storming is the process of where the group have a lot of conflicts because each personality is different. So there's gonna be a lot of friction there.
Is that like brainstorming, or is it just like
No, like a
storming because
storm,
it's like
like a
thunder? Like it's
thunderstorm.
like a whole bunch
I
of.
just explained this to somebody else. They thought it was brainstorming. I was like, nah, it's like a thunderstorm.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like, cause you going back and forth. There's differences there, and you know, you get mad at each other and stuff like that. Every group go through that.
Yeah, that's
Some
real.
group don't make it through that though. But when you make it through, you have a certain level of respect for each other. You see each other's strengths, weaknesses. You learn how to gel. Then they call that norming. Now everything is normal because we family now. I know how this part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then performing. That's when you go into the championship arena. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
now you know how to move as a team. So
Doobies. Shout out to my doobies out there.
doobies.
If you're a leader, take inventory right now.
No, yeah.
Where are you with your team? Are you in the forming stage where you're still trying to put everything together?
Right.
Are you in the storming stage where y'all just got all kind of conflict?
Got a lot of
It's
beef.
just, you know what I'm saying? Everybody at each other's throats, right? It's on
Right.
edge. Every time you walk into the room,
Right.
y'all go to lunch, and you know, you just, you know,
Beefing.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just, you know, are you at that stage? Are you at the norming stage where it's just like, okay, we just got past all of our differences. It's relaxed,
Right.
right? And that's and to me, I don't know. I mean, I know you're gonna get through the rest of it, but like, that's a very dangerous stage,
Relaxed.
the norming stage, because you know, once you kind of get through the storm, it's like, man, I'm just happy I ain't got to fight every day with these folks. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just, man, cause when you move to performing, right? Was that the final stage? Or
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
When you move to the performing stage, that's when you have to realize that, okay, it's gonna be, and I don't know, and I'm up here telling this philosophy like I don't made it up, but in my head, right? I don't know the philosophy. I don't know,
Yeah.
but in my head, the performing stage can also take you back to the storming stage, because now you're kind of pushing people to be better or greater than they've been, and
Right.
you know, you can kind of stir some stuff back up. And I don't know, maybe that's completely wrong. That's not the point of it. But in my head, that's kind of where my mind went.
Oh, yeah.
Clean it up for me. Clean it up. I don't know.
No, I mean, you might be right. I guess it depends on the process of the storming phase. Did y'all get through it just to get through it, or did y'all get through it with some type of understanding of each other? You know, like I had situations, you know, and this past week we talked about it, and I was like, bruh, like, I don't know, man. Like, wow. And you mentioned something about my communication, and I'm like, oh, makes sense. I'm talking to them like I'm talking to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've learned something from the conflict versus just, I just want everything to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to Band-Aid, and you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now I'm coming to the table with a different perspective.
Throwing some Flexi-Seal on it, huh? Just pow. You ever seen that commercial? The guy, it's like a whole thing. He put some tape on it.
Yeah.
That fixes the boat, and now the boat riding.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do it because conflict is uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just say it.
Yeah.
Especially like our people, man. I don't know if any other race struggle with that, but I think we struggle with conflict. You know, I know it's a lot to do with self-discipline, like I mentioned earlier, because I'm afraid of myself more than I am of other people. I don't know if I overreact. So I think that's what the issue is, but we need healthy conflict.
Yeah.
You know, to get understanding of each other and to learn from each other.
Yeah, I mean that's how you thrive, right? Like when you have, man, when you can be able to communicate like your feelings to somebody and being able to like go from beefing to best friends.
Right.
Like it's a much better relationship.
Right.
Than just, man, we click from day one.
Oh yeah. It is. My brother Snipe and Big, shout out Snipe, man. they tell me all the time how they met. They used to be like enemies in school, you know. Big is this big guy. And Snipe, you know, he cool and, you know, he got hands and all that, you know. So they were just like looking each other up and down, like they just had beef for no reason.
It's like middle school beef, huh?
Yeah. But now they are the tightest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's like a brotherhood. So I think those are the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think diversity brings. Oh no, not diversity. Diversity does too, but I meant to say adversity.
Right.
Adversity brings a deeper level of connection as well.
Yeah.
You know, I never forget. I went through another story time.
Story.
Went through.
We need a something to go into the story time. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
But yeah, I remember I went through a situation, and the people that are around me, you know, when I went through that situation, like they're my dogs to this day. Like,
oh, that's the story.
Is that the story?
My bad. They your dogs to this day. I was looking for something.
Yeah, they're my dogs to this day. And, you know, if they call me if they need anything, like because because you know people, you know what they say, like in your worst moments, that's you can tell who your real friends are.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's who you need.
Yeah,
right.
So, you know, it's you know when you get that extreme loyalty from people, like you gotta cherish that. That's true.
And that's it's crazy how we just like we'll start off with some like conversation and just go and but it all comes back to authenticity, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just really kind of knowing me as a whole. You know what I mean? Like now we can click because you saw the worst of me,
right?
You saw the best of me.
Yep.
It's like you kind of figured out what you could do with both.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like with relationships too. Like there might be a female that, man, I could never be with because I used to say I've grown, I guess, but
right.
I used to say, man, I could never be with somebody that nag,
right?
Just nag for no reason,
right?
And just like what are you talking about? Like what? Like what? Like just nagging. I could never be with somebody like that, right? But but another person, you know, may see that and be like, you know what, I can deal with that,
right?
You know. But you know, it's just different things that different people have. That you know, there's some women that can, hey, you know what? I can deal with a guy cheating on me. As long as they, you know, this and this, they don't, you know,
we good.
We good.
That's authenticity.
To
yourself. Hey, going back to the show, like, so Chris Sant, this is the first show that Chris Sant and I didn't get to watch together, the fourth season, but I was just talking because we saw bits and pieces of the young lady who was like, I don't know. You know, we saw bits. I saw bits and pieces of that. Hey, I'm crazy. In my mind, I'm like, I'm a little shallow. I'm gonna just be real. You feel me? I'm a little shallow. I don't know if I can do that. You know, I don't know what's on the other side. I know me. I'm just being real. So me knowing me and being authentic, I'm not going on the show.
Right.
So like, why did you go on the show?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I think just knowing who you are and just being real with that.
Yeah.
And you know, like, and people might say, well, you shouldn't be so shallow. But I am.
It's still evolving. I'm still evolving.
Yeah.
May not ever get there. Who knows?
It may not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I feel, I mean, again, everybody has those things that's like,
right.
I ain't giving that up. Like, I just, it ain't worth me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it for me. You know?
Right.
I mean, I think that's okay too.
Right.
I don't know if it's not like harming nobody, right? Like, I think it's, you know, that's who you are. It's your authentic self.
Yeah.
And I think that's the balance too is being your authentic self harming other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, I'm a bit of a butthole sometimes. I am. Like
Right.
I'm very. Sometimes I can be very direct.
Right.
And I can care less how you feel about it.
Right.
Like because it's the truth. Right.
Right.
But is that again is changing versus evolving? Like I have to evolve or have to continue to evolve in that space because I've evolved to the point where I don't really do it as much at work.
Right.
But like with my family, I'm my authentic self.
You say I give them hell.
They feel it.
Y'all
right?
gonna get it.
Yeah. But what I realized though is that it does change because everybody can't take that, right?
Right, yeah.
And it does change the perspective or perception of who you are, right?
Right.
And especially when you start to reach success and all that, and it becomes more I don't know, like I don't know, you know how they go, but so I have to be more conscious of like, okay, dang, now I have to. That's a place where I have to evolve it personally,
Right,
now
right,
because I don't mean nothing by it. They don't mean nothing by it, but like it's just my thoughts. That's how I feel.
Right.
I'm my mama's child.
Right. She said I can be a little bossy.
Yeah, I'm my mama's child, right?
Right.
And my dad was very direct too. He didn't mind being direct as well. But like,
Right.
So it's just one of those things where I have to realize that. All right, Henry. You have to be able to communicate differently, or the same energy that you put into evolving professionally.
Why is that though? I just want to know why.
Which part?
Like, why do you feel like you have to evolve? Just
on that piece?
Out of curiosity, is it some results you've been getting, or is it
like,
somebody just told you?
It's no, it's all about the results.
Okay,
Like, it's like my brother might tell me like he might say something that, and it's weird, right? Like certain people can push your buttons,
Right.
Like or like certain people can say something that you really like. If it's somebody else said it, you're like, whatever.
Right.
But if this one person says, like, dang, I need to check myself. Maybe I, and again, I'm not, and sometimes you're just not aware of how,
Right.
And again, it's not necessarily bad per se. Like, it's not like, it's just, did you think about how when you said what you said, even though it's the truth,
Right.
did you think about how it would affect this other person that you said it to?
That's interesting. Okay.
And that's why.
Right.
Because
okay.
I'm starting to think about things more broadly than just how I feel about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think when you're a leader, in my opinion, right? And when you're a leader, you have to be that. You have to think that way of like your decisions affect the whole team.
Right.
But I think, and I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things like I've evolved, and I don't know, maybe I could just be talking as a podcast. We just talk. I know this ain't JTNS, but we just, I'm just, I could be wrong.
Right.
I might have a different thought.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Today even tonight, like maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't want to say the same thing, but like I feel like I'm becoming a leader in my family.
Right.
Really, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm not, but maybe that's why when I say something, it cuts deeper because
people value your opinion.
Bingo.
Yeah. Right. I feel the same.
Because I'm the baby.
Right.
Like, I'm the baby of the bunch.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah. Shout out to Big Bro.
Yeah.
Big Bro. That's interesting, man, that you pointed out the results piece. I think I can get better at that because I still struggle with how I see things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, how I see things is how I see things, And I have to understand that there are other perspectives out there. I'm not saying I'm totally like narrow-minded, but with some things, I feel like, okay, that's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Maybe it may not be the perfect time to tell you how I see it, but that's just how I see it. So I can get better with that. And just like I told you what we talked about this past week, I was like, yeah, that's right. Because how we talk to ourselves, like our own self-talk, sometimes tends to come off on others. And then people like, and they be like, yo, you so arrogant, or you know what I mean? I'm like, what? What are you talking? Like in my mind, I'm like, are you serious? Like how? And I have the best intentions.
Yeah.
But then I have to listen to how I talk to myself. Like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I get it. I'm used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is like, that's the thing too, right? You may not even talk to them the way you would talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Like I talk to myself crazy. Like I'm talking about like, but what you do? Like what? Like why would you? Like it's like, man, I was stupid. Why would you? That was stupid that you did it, right? I would I guess myself knows that I'm not calling myself stupid,
right?
Just that decision or that instinct that or instinct that whatever, right? So I just had to realize that even though I'm much less, I talk to somebody else, like I'm much harder on myself than I am somebody else, even though that's true. But maybe I still need to take it down.
It's still a hard punch.
Yeah, it's still a hard punch. You thought we would play boxing, and then I just hit you with an uppercut. Bow, bow.
Ouch.
You be all right. You tough, right?
That's my thing, man. I would say, Tone, you can do better, man. Tone, let's get better. Tone, like it's motivation for me, because I guess we're ambitious. We're ambitious people. So we're always expecting to get better. Hey, get better, get better, get better. But like if I do it like in my relationship or like my wife per se, it's like, yo, ain't nothing never good enough for you. And I have to pull back and be like, oh, my bad, because like her ambition is not my ambition, and vice versa. That doesn't mean I'm more ambitious. It's just that. Maybe it's not that serious to her, but it's serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having a newborn son now, I just have to kind of take that in consideration.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch on this. I'm not gonna go too deep into it right now because I want to go a little bit deeper on it whenever we talk about purpose. But as leaders, man, because I kind of like you were saying, like you can't put those same expectations on your wife that you have on yourself,
right?
Because your ambition is different from, and that's honestly like that's why me, that's part of the reason why why me and my wife broke up before we got married. Like,
was your cold feet?
Cold.
I remember that episode. No, I'm just kidding.
But like I felt like I needed somebody that was a little more driven, right? And and I think as leaders, we know, like consciously, that somebody's not going to be as driven as you, or like they're not going to want the same things but even though you know that, you still kind of push that on them a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But as leaders, you just kind of have to know, like, all right, let me get this person to where they're comfortable at, or let me get to this person to where point that they're performing, but that don't mean that they have to do what I do. Right. They just need to perform.
I think that's what leadership is, though. It's a servant. It's not really about us. Just seeing where that person is, and in some way helping them develop. You know what I mean, to that place that they want to get to. Yeah. And may not be billions or millions. They may just want to retire and get the heck home, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I get it.
Yeah, because you got to think there's multiple facets of life, right? Right. Like, you have work, right? You have relationships. Right. You have spiritual. Yeah. You have physical health. Right. And then, I guess you may have, like, mental health, right? Like, what do you feel like that you need for your mental, right? And right. There's all these, and it's probably more than that, but it's like everybody's top priority isn't money or isn't, recognition and getting promoted and just all that stuff that's important to you, right? Because you're the leader, right? That's why you're in the position, because you're in the leader, right? Right. Everybody doesn't want to be you. That's true. Right? That's true. Some people man, you know what? As long as I can work out, 5 times a week, I'm good. I'm good. I don't care. I can be living in a box. I don't care. Right. Man, some people can, hey, long as I can, continue to serve God, man, that's all I care about. Right. I don't care if that makes me having to travel. I'm never home. Right. I travel all across. I go to the Philippines. I go to Africa. I go to, I don't know, New Zealand. Right. Wherever. Dubai. Right. Only because I want to go. There we go. Hey, pick a flight. Just one book a flight, man. but yeah, I mean, like that just maybe what's important. So like again, it's just you have to be able to balance that. Obviously, I'm talking about extremes,
Right.
But you know, people are a little more balanced, and sometimes it's hard because they are so balanced.
Right.
Sometimes it is hard to. It's a little bit difficult to see what, you know, kind of difficult to see that. Okay, they just like what they do every day.
Right.
That don't mean that they want to be where you are. They just enjoy working with people.
Right. That's
or
true.
they just enjoy, you know, dealing with graphs, and
Right.
they just enjoy drawing, whatever your profession is, right? Like they just they don't want to make more money. They don't want to, you know, get closer to God. They don't want to, you know.
Yeah. I'm all right.
And I think, and the reason why I bring that stuff up, because those are people that listen to us, right? The people that listen to us, you guys are highly driven, highly motivated, and it frustrates you whenever somebody's not, you know, doing that and doing the things that are important to quote unquote you.
That's true.
So you have to figure out a way to get to your next level at the same time keeping them happy in their level.
That's true. That's true. That's about seeing the board and then putting them in position. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're not meant to drive, you know, your location, or, you know, maybe they're not trying to get a promotion. Maybe they may just be there for customer service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do really good at it because they love people. They love talking to people.
Yep.
So you just got to put them on the board there. Stuff like that.
And I think too, like, again, talking about being your authentic self as a leader, you need those people.
You do.
Like, you need to hire or promote or whatever differently than you are.
That's true. That's true.
Because those people are going to be able to do things that you're not able to do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can do it, but it ain't going to be as fire as somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Like terminology, right.
Like, you know, like you can like, all right, there's this event that needs to happen, and you're so driven that you're thinking about the budget, you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that. You forget that it's an event. Let's have fun.
Right. Nah, trying to have no fun.
You know,
but
like,
you need somebody who will.
Yeah, like you need, okay, well, hey, you know what? You like to have fun. You're good at this. Hey, I'm going to put you in charge of this.
Right.
Oh, what? Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, let's go.
You have to empower the people around. You have to hire differently, and you have to empower them to do the things that they do well.
Right.
And the things that they love to do.
Right. Dang. What?
I was thinking about this other assessment. It talks about building people on their strengths versus
Ooh, that's, man, I want to talk about that on the purpose piece.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a story for me this past week. Was it this past week? I think it was. Even with like be more to do more. Like I was like, one day I was like, man, what are we doing wrong? Like I keep looking at like, what are we doing wrong? I drove myself in a frenzy. So I was like, yeah, let me go out and take a walk. Took my son for a walk. Then I was praying.
He's so healthy. Look at that.
Who, me?
This boy done talked about, all right, he was working already, right? Already thinking about, this is what I'm talking about though, right? Like, I hate to cut y'all, my bad.
Nah, go ahead. But, I don't care anyway. Go ahead.
All right, so, because we're just talking about different parts of people's lives, right?
Right.
You already working because you're thinking about, okay, what can we do to get to the next level, right? Frustration, right? Whatever. You know what? Let me take a walk. Let me do some physical activity.
Right.
And then you went to, talking to spiritual, like you just hit on three of the things that like.
Oh yeah, and family, son.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like
I didn't even think about that though.
But it's that subtle.
Right.
It's that subtle.
That's
that
crazy.
like we don't realize, we just don't realize sometimes that like people are different, and even though you're super driven, you want to be successful, you want to be like have a successful network, all those things.
Right.
It's so ingrained in you, these other items, that you don't even realize that you're
That's
doing.
crazy. Man, you just gave me a whole session.
And as a leader, you have to recognize those things, right? Like people have to like look at your team,
right?
Realize what, like, they may not even realize it.
Yeah, that's
98% of the people, and this is 98% of the people have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea why we're putting on this earth.
Man.
They just drifting.
Right. Drifters.
Just drifting.
Don't be a drifter.
And I'm not saying that you have to come along and like, hey, let's go, let's do this, yeah, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Right.
You can do it.
Hey,
Little Grace's Corner, right?
You can do it. Oh, go ahead.
You ain't got to be that.
Right.
But I heard, we went to the podcast festival recently, Black Effect.
Shout out Black Effect.
And the guy was like, man, you changed my life. Or no, my life was changed just by, dang, what he said?
He said, just going through this experience changed my life. Not never be the same or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want, like I want to point out in that is that, because Charlamagne was like, hold on, that thing, like it was like you could tell he was
He
like
hit him.
kind of he hit him.
Yeah, like
on stage. You could just tell
wow.
it hit him, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy later on goes and say, man, he was like me and you was life changing.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Charlamagne didn't know that.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
like he didn't know that was the part that. So
Right.
my point is that it's not your job to make it's not your job to like make the spark for them or to create the to put it's your job to open their minds.
Wow.
Not to push them towards it.
Right.
But just, hey, have you noticed this about yourself?
I want to.
It's not. I mean, I'm just curious. You did a really good job at this. Did you notice that you? Or hey, did you know that you could do this? Did you know this was possible?
Yeah, just let them know. Open them up to it. Yeah.
I just see what you did with that. Cause did you know that man, you could really be a great therapist?
See, and that goes back to what you just said. Now you're helping them build on their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, yo, I didn't know I was good at this.
Right.
Okay, let me build on this. Let me do some more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else can I use this in?
Yeah.
You know, what other area? I want to talk about that in purpose too.
Yeah.
That
we're
part
gonna go
right
deep in
there.
that. I'm telling you, my world is opening up, right?
Right,
Like it's
right.
continues, and that's why you got to continue to develop yourself, right? You can't.
That's true.
Again, as a leader, right, being your authentic self, you should have a level of self growth. You should have a growth plan, right?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Because once you start growing, that's another piece of just, man, it just get dicey, man.
Right.
Your whole world, your whole life get dicey because you become a drifter.
They say once you stop growing, you're dead.
You're dead. There's a I don't know if it's a quote or what, but it says what did it say? Most people in the world die at 25. And the person looked at them crazy, like, what you talking about? Like,
Wow.
Like the average death rate is like 70 years old or something like that, 80.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but
Right.
He's like, yeah, but most people stop dreaming at 25.
Oh man,
They reach that point where they just, this is who I am.
that's heavy. That's heavy. That's
So-
heavy. And they drifting.
They just drift.
That book talked about that. I think a
Did
little
it?
bit. I think you said something that sparked something that I feel like it went back to the book.
Man.
Yeah. So
Hey, shout out to my dog Nick. When Nick was like, it ain't in me. It ain't on me. It's in me.
it's in me. It's in me, man. It's in me, man. Okay.
That's how it
Okay.
come out though, you know.
Yeah, man. So
You got a
anything
scripture for us?
else? I think did I give one?
I don't remember.
Might have gave one. I don't know, man. Nah.
I don't think you gave a scripture.
You know what? I don't have a scripture.
Nah, we got to get a scripture. We gotta
What,
get one.
for authenticity?
Who was the most authentic person in the Bible?
Peter.
Peter?
To me.
You said that quick. You said that
Nah,
quick,
because
too.
Peter was a G. Nah, they say he was cursed. Peter used to curse. Peter was and the thing about Peter, man, he asked the most questions. But he wasn't afraid of the answers. Even it got to the point where Jesus said, I'm gonna be leaving here, I'm gonna die. And Peter said, no, you ain't. And
No,
Jesus was like, get thee
thought you was
behind
about to die.
get thee behind me, Satan. He called that man Satan.
Yeah.
Peter was the most authentic. But even in that, man, he was also one of the greatest apostles, him and Apostle Paul. But
Where's that story at?
What story?
Of Peter and kind of the like.
You think behind me, Satan?
Yeah.
Let me find it. But Peter was authentic to the point where, but it was authenticity, but it was also pride. You could tell it was pride because Jesus also told him that, the enemy is going to come and sift you like wheat.
Dang.
He told
him that?
Yeah.
Dang.
But it happened because when Jesus got betrayed, first of all, he cut one of the guy's ears off. Peter. I told you he was a thug, bro. Peter was a gangster, man. Don't sleep on Peter, man. Everybody need a Peter in their circle, man. Yeah. But
dang, you know what though?
What's that?
Because Peter's the one that denied Jesus too, right?
That's where I was going. But at the end of the day, when all that happened, he denied Jesus 3 times.
Dang.
Like,
all right. We're gonna get there. I'm going because this ain't JT in this,
right?
So
no, go for it. Go for it.
Is it worse? Okay, being authentic self, right? Mm-hmm. And there's some relationships that people are being authentic self. You just need to get from around them, right?
Right.
So you take Judas and Peter. Judas just gave him up, and obviously, I don't even know. I'm sure God forgive. Did he forgive Judas?
I don't know. I heard Judas committed suicide after that. Though.
So but my point is like, what makes, I don't know. I'm just gonna chat about it.
Go ahead.
What makes the difference? What makes Judas? What makes
Intentions.
Peter?
Go ahead.
What makes Peter different from Judas?
Intentions.
Nah, talk to me.
Intentions.
Nah, I ain't going for it. Talk to me.
Intentions.
Make it make sense.
Because even though Peter had pride, his questions were authentic. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like he would ask questions that Jesus would kind of give him an answer like in a sharp tongue kind of way in a sense. But Peter was more like, his intentions were like clear.
No, because when they asked him, hey, do you know this man? He was like, I don't know who that nigga, I don't know who that man is.
Well, I mean, but Judas gave him up for money.
And Peter didn't get no money from it. That's even worse. At least Judas got something from it.
But you gave up Jesus for money. Think about
But he denied Jesus for nothing.
Think about because he was scared.
He didn't want to get killed.
Yeah, he was scared.
So why did that make him better? Like, why do we look at him?
I ain't saying he's better, but I'm saying the intentions. Like, Peter really loved Jesus. But Judas, you can just tell that Judas had something in his heart. Like, it was you can see it play, because I think from what the scholars were saying, and I have to do my research. Let me just put this out here, because I don't like to put things out of context. From what I heard, that Judas was over, the money or whatever. So I believe that Judas it was something in his heart. And Jesus knew it. He knew it from day one. But that was his tool to get to the cross. So it was a tool. But Peter really loved Jesus. And think about it. You about to die. Jesus saying, I'm about to, leave or whatever. And people like, no, you ain't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. You know what I mean? Because he really loved.
Do you think he said that more selfishly, though?
Yeah, it was selfish.
Okay.
But think about it. When anybody close to us die, it's selfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't think about what's happening to them. We're thinking about, us, us not having them around.
That's real. But it's kind of like that conversation I was saying like earlier about or before, just like how I ain't gonna say I don't get sad when people die, because I definitely get sad, but I understand that people have to die.
Yeah.
I don't like if someone was close to me was to die today, it'd just be like, dang.
Right.
I'd be like, dang. Like, I'm happy I was able to enjoy
that person
during the time they were here, but it won't be like, I won't go into a depression about it.
Right.
Maybe I need some help.
Nah, it would hurt. I would hurt.
I would hurt. Yeah, you're gonna hurt. You're definitely gonna hurt.
But it's not gonna why, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know, man.
I'm going into a totally different topic. Let me.
It would definitely hurt. But I think for me, Would it hurt for selfish? Probably a selfish reason because I probably have some resentment that I didn't spend enough time or something like that.
See, I don't feel that way.
That's
like if I choose not to call somebody, like I intentionally choose. Like I feel like I guess I feel like I'm so intentional. Like I know I only have a certain amount of time.
Right.
Period. Like on Earth, just in a day, in a whatever. Right.
Right.
I know that. Right. So with me knowing that. I'm just, and it's no slight to anybody that I don't call or nothing like that. But it's like, all right, if I know that I got so much time, I know I need to spend this time with I ain't gonna say people that are important to me, but because I think there's a lot of people that's important to me that I just don't talk to.
Right.
But I made a choice at that point.
Right.
But, but I guess that's just the reason why, again, just kind of being authentic self, like, I understand what my goals are and what I want, and just, like, I would love to spend time with everybody that's important to me.
Time is limited.
Yeah, it's just not realistic.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So,
but, yeah, between those two, man, I believe it was really intentions. I believe that Peter was really there, even though, I wouldn't say he betrayed Jesus. That wasn't a betrayal. That was more like a denial. Like, nah, I ain't trying to get caught up. You know what I mean? Like, but what Judas did, come on, man.
So is it okay for a little bit of cheating?
What you mean? Nah, man. Nah.
I don't know, man.
Judas had to put forth like action to make this happen.
You're right. He had to go out his way.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
But it's just like somebody catching you off guard. No, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're right. You know what? It's intentionality. You're right.
Purpose.
You're right.
That was his purpose.
Yeah.
You know, the purpose.
But I think it paints a good picture too of man, you can really love somebody or really like and unintentionally. I don't know if you unintentionally harm them, because
you can.
What's the point in them putting that in the Bible of him denying him 3 times?
Well,
like, why did Jesus even say that? Like, why? Like, hey, before the clock hits whatever it was,
you gonna deny me?
You gonna deny me 3? Like, why was that been? Like, why would he even need to say that? Like, what purpose did they have?
That was a change point in Peter's life, because after Jesus was resurrected, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me 3 times?" And then Peter broke down. So you knew that was a changing point in Peter's life.
Yeah.
Like that was going from him being a disciple to now, okay, you love me,
Yeah.
Because think about it, he really loved Jesus.
Yeah.
So you don't think Jesus knew that he had to deal with the fact that he denied him? Like if you love somebody, you did not, like, you got to deal with that guilt. That man went back to fishing after Jesus died. You know what I mean?
You say that in the Bible?
Yeah.
I gotta read the Bible.
Yeah, man. This is an Acts, man. The Acts is long and it's just, but man went back to, you know what I mean? That's where he saw Jesus after Jesus resurrected. And then they had the.
Wait, he went with because it was like some people, remember Jesus was like kind of walking around after he died?
Yeah. All that happened too.
But that was, so it talked about that in Acts as well?
Yeah.
Or was that the same time, or was it like a totally different time?
I think it's a total difference. See, you gonna make me go back to
all right, sorry, man.
Nah.
I'm just curious. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. I'm being my authentic self right now. I'm just a curious individual.
No, that's cool. But that that happened for Peter. But Peter still remained the same authentic person. He boldly began to preach the gospel, even though people was trying to kill believers and Christians. He still did his apostle thing because he really loved Jesus. Like Jesus asked him 3 times, "Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" He broke down, I do. You know what I mean? And this was a moment where Peter had to face the fact that, I denied Jesus. But he also had to face the fact that Jesus forgave me.
Hey. Hey, Jesus would, he don't mind. I don't know, man. Maybe I get my directness from Jesus, because he don't mind telling you about yourself.
He the way, the truth, and the light, bro. With me, see, that's why with Christians, bro, speaking about authenticity, reason why, like, I struggle with getting along with some of the Christians, because they put on a Christian face. You know what I mean? But they don't understand that Jesus said that I'm the way, the truth, and the life. If you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you're going to know about yourself. You know what I mean? So when you put it on and you're not taking accountability for yourself, that lets me know that you ain't no believer because you ain't dealing with what I'm not saying he have to deal with you the same way, but you will see some truth about yourself, but also you'll see some grace. You know, you'll see why he came and died for us and resurrected for us. Because at the end of the day, he love us, he give us grace, but he also give us truth, you know, and we can begin to love other people in their truth and stuff like that. So
we're going to end it on that. Love people in their truth.
In their truth. In their truth. I wanted to do that. When you said something, I wanted to do that too, but I just found it. So there you go. Hey man, y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share this information. This is only audio, so download this. I would say hit the bell. We might put this up.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Hit the bell. You already know we good, bro.
Talk about it. When the last time you told
All right,
somebody
we
to
out.
keep their head up, 'cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, won't tolerate.